Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you're all doing okay as we enter the summer months. I thought I'd talk about this Strat today and what's the deal with it. I've had this guitar since my 14th birthday, which was back in 1989, and it was brand new then, and it was a surprise present from my dad. By that point, I think he'd got his head around the idea I was quite serious about guitar playing. Whether I'm a serious player or not is another matter, but I was serious about doing it. So anyway, this is from that late 80s era, which was when Fender had kind of relaunched again once they'd had their period of CBS ownership from the late 60s up until the early 80s, I think it was. And I've been led to believe that the new Fender factory was essentially like a custom shop, and it was just like builders building guitars almost by hand. So these guitars are quite well, they're relatively rare, I suppose, by comparison of anything that comes from the era, from the 90s onwards, I suppose. And I feel very lucky to have this guitar because although on paper it's not the greatest guitar in the world, I have to say there are some things about this guitar that are phenomenal. Now, it's a bit of a Trigger's broom, and if you're familiar with Only Fools and Horses, you'll know what that means. He says that his brooms had 6 handles and four brushes, that kind of thing. Essentially, basically, this guitar has had all the electronics and the pickups and most of the hardware replaced over the years. But to all intents and purposes, the soul of the guitar is its neck. This thing is completely solid, doesn't go out of tune. I've played it, I took it to a rehearsal yesterday, played it for the rehearsal. I didn't tune it up when I got there, and it's still in tune now. It's ridiculous. And we've had quite hot weather over the last day or two as well. So, yeah, this is the most stable guitar that I own when it comes to tuning stability and temperature stability. So from that point of view, it's incredibly good sort of working instrument, which is totally reliable. So this has also got the E4 serial number, which basically technically would mean it's from 1984, but it was made after 84. But basically they had a load of stickers when they relaunched in 87. They had a load of 84 serial numbers which they needed to use up. So it may be that this was actually even from 87, this guitar. There's nothing else on it to say. There's nothing written on the end of the neck or anything. So although I got it in 89, it may very well come from 87. What have I done with this guitar over the years? Well, Spurts or machine heads, which I put on a little bit wonkily, but they still work fine. I'm always a fan of locking machine heads. I also put Callahan saddles on it as well, and a Callahan trem block, which is the solid steel job. So that's kind of what the hardware is. Incidentally, this did come with the black scratch plate. This wasn't a retrofit. This was the way this guitar turned up. Electronics wise, it's now got 3 Demartsia pickups in it. It's got 2 Area 58s and a chopper in the bridge. And they work really well. Great for situations like theatre where you don't want noise. People can be a bit snobby about noiseless single coils, but to be honest with you, yeah, there is a difference between noiseless ones and genuine single coils, but I happen to like the way these function and the way these sound. Works for me. The chopper is not particularly high output, and it balances really well with the other 2 pickups. I'll play some sounds in a second so we can hear it. Electronics wise inside, I've actually put one of those tone shaper things in, so it's like a solderless PCB setup, and I've got the bottom tone control to wind in the neck, and winding the neck if I'm on the bridge, or vice versa. So if I'm there on the neck pickup, wind it in, and I can get almost Telecaster kind of sounds, which is really great because that's a sound that I love actually, and I've subsequently loved Tellies. A guitar style that I didn't really like when I was a kid. How wrong I was. But anyway, yeah, this was my first decent electric guitar, and I still use it professionally all the time. And I think the important thing to note is that in this day and age, we're all looking for, you know, the next best guitar, the next best amp, the next best pedal, the next best whatever else. Most of my heroes grew up playing, well, became famous for playing a particular type of guitar. And I mean, a lot of them did all their work playing the same instrument. So I think there's something to be said for that. If you have an instrument that you know well, you can make it do what you want it to do. I mean, I can use this guitar in most situations and make it work. Whereas any other Strat, I might find myself struggling to get it to do what I want it to do. I don't know how that's the case, but it just seems to work that way for me because I know these instruments so well. So yeah, I'll just do some little sound clips. Today I'm plugged into my Tech 21 solid state amp, which is DI'd. That's the Sans amp type of thing on a sort of a Fendery kind of setting. So we have, I've already played, well, there we go. I've already played some neck pickups stuff there, but I mean, if we want to get some funky Nile Rodgers vibes going on here, we're going to. Position 2. Middle pickup. Position 4. Bridge pickup. Also, we could try some overdrive with this. Pretty classic sounds, just using, I mean, that's not even, that's basically a solid state modelling amp. Let's just try some more sort of. And the whammy stays in tune as well, which is amazing. Not that I'm a big whammy user, but when you do use it, it's nice to be able to have some kind of control over the tuning. Yeah, so there it is, my 1989-ish, maybe 88-ish Strat that I've had since I was a kid. The instrument you start out on is often the one that holds your voice, I would say. I mean, I learnt to play on this thing, basically. I played and owned plenty of guitars, including other Strats over the years, but this is the one that kind of holds a special place for me because, you know, I do. If I lost all my instruments and was left with just this one, I'd be able to function quite well with it. Okay, I'll see you soon, guys. Take care.